hello there. Ain't nobody there. Well, oh, there's somebody there. All right. Hello there. Alive and alert on the north side of the dirt. It's your man D-Rail coming at you. It's Wednesday, and we're getting ready for the deep dive. So I'm going to dive in and grab some stuff, and y'all can keep doing what y'all do, whatever it is y'all doing, instead of getting ready for this. Oh. Oh, I must have missed that. Huh. See y'all when I. Ooh. That's normal. That's normal. Be right back. Ha ha! Knew exactly what I needed to make this a viral moment. Yeah. He throws a curveball and go, oh no, he's going to unbox. For those of you that don't understand the gibberish that I just spouted out, I basically said, ha ha, trick you, bitch. Yes, that was the Cobra La Royal Guard. And this Joker comes with accessories galore, and it's nice. And like I said, when y'all asked me in the comments, I will do an action figuring on it. It's got enough to occupy a few minutes. Definitely for sure. But as we sit and we wait patiently for the people who said they was gonna be here, I'm gonna wait on them. You know what I'm saying? We give people opportunity. We give people opportunity around here to be a man or a woman of their word or otherwise. You ever been walking around with something all day, um, only to wake up and discover that it is on your person the entire time? I was like, man, I was looking for my charger all day. I had it in my pocket the whole time. Yes, Marvin, the whole time. The charger was in my pocket. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Okay. All right. Enough of this gibberish. On to the topic at hand. What we here for? We are here to do a deep dive on 4 particular comics. 2 happen to be Wonder Woman titles that I picked up the same week. And then also we got Space Ghost, and of course we got Black Panther. Okay. Huh? Anyway, that was funny. The Wonder Woman comic, Wonder Woman is well, they're both Absolute Wonder Woman. Let's make that clear. Absolute Wonder Woman number 17, which is the regular monthly, and then you have the Absolute Wonder Woman annual, which I'm going to talk about last because surprise, of the four, it was my favorite read. What? Hey, wait. Kelly Thompson doing it like that? Yes, Kelly Thompson is doing it like that. I don't know. I guess the odds were stacked in their favor because two titles, two Absolute Wonder Woman titles. Wow, isn't that something? Anywho, I grabbed a couple different variants of Absolute Wonder Woman 17, and well, no, not a couple, just one other one. Of course, there's the monthly, which well, not the monthly, but the regular, this one, which I have, and this is my variant by Derek Chew, I believe that is. That's nice. It almost kind of looks anime-ish, sort of. But I likes a lot. Yo, Theo, what up? Now that makes it a party. It's official. All right, here we go. Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 17. Now, if you recall, Absolute Wonder Woman issue 16, Diana was at this benefit for Barbara Minerva, which is one of the things I find confusing, but we're gonna get into that in a second. And then all of a sudden, a spell is cast on Diana, so she can't move. Oh, by the way, she looks stunning in this all black dress. So I'm like, she's like 7 feet tall. So shoot, you know what I'm saying? Think Angel Reese, but taller. Yeah, that's there. There you go. There, you're working in the neighborhood. Now, anyway, she pulls up with what we call the Absolute Universe version of the Suicide Squad, which consists of the sea. I guess they were menfish. That's what they were called. The Fish Queen. Then there's Dr. Poison. We remember Dr. Poison in the suit. Then and then we had Cheetah, but Barbara Minerva. So Barbara Minerva isn't the Cheetah in this universe. Now we know. Moving on. Anyway, and then of course the aforementioned Giganta. Now there is a spell cast on Diana that binds her to Zatanna's will. So she can't act against Zatanna because she's bound. And Zatanna somehow uses Diana's magic to extract this spiny looking little starro parasite, I guess is the best definition I could give, and crushes it in her hands and, lets everybody know in no uncertain terms she's free of Veronica Cale's control and teleports away. I am confused. I thought Zatanna was working for Veronica Cale. So it turns out a lot of the people or a lot of the subjects Veronica Cale has at her disposal aren't there of their own free will. Hence, why some of them are in like some sort of stasis or suspended animation when you see images of them and you're like, oh, that's Wonder Woman's old foe, blah, blah, blah. Maybe not in this universe. So, and on and on and on like that. But anyway, you then get an image, a couple of pages worth of Veronica Cale talking to her like support staff, a la like Lex Luthor. Think Lex Luthor in the Superman movie, and that's kind of what she's got. She's got a room of people like that working for her, and yeah, she said your name, boss, and blah 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 blah, and she's like, okay, that's all good and fine, but Zatanna blew the coop, so we got to find another magic user. Otherwise, if we ain't got no magic to keep Diana under control, she gonna bust us up. And so they end up grabbing a magic user. And if I missed my, if I read correctly, the Tara. So we ain't got Zatanna. We gonna use the next best thing that we can control, because there was some discussion about some other magical being, but they're like, nah, too hard to control. So Zatar clearly is easier to control. But after Zatanna teleports away, Diana can feel her magic again, and that's when the Suicide Squad decides, we gonna hurt you, Diana. And Diana's like, nuh-uh. And Diana casts a spell real quick on Dr. Poison and tells her basically, no harm will come to her and she will do no harm. And just kind of like put her in a bubble and pushed her away. Which left the Fish Queen, or let's just go ahead and call her the Fish Queen. And of course, Giganta with Cheetah. Now, if it wasn't for the timely assist by Giganta, damn, she put her ass into the concrete, didn't she? See, Diana could take some punishment. But Diana was able to get the upper hand because when she went in to stomp, she caught her foot and flipped her up. And that gave her time to get up and she to call herself bum rushing Diana solo dolo. And from that point, it's like, what you do? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what you do? And she literally mushes Cheetah like a couple meters away. And she slides across the ground, and her and the Fish Queen kind of get together and get Diana in a full Nelson. But earlier, before she got into the fight, Diana had called Pegasus to the scene. And Pegasus makes a Batman-like entrance through the skylight and scorches the get out the Fish Queen and Cheetah and got him running off. Giganta ain't scared though. And that's when the real fight begins. Because Giganta bangs her, right? Knocks her out. Check it out. Giganta come out like this. After she done banged her up, she holding her by her hair. I done dealt with this heifer. Y'all ain't got nothing for me. Until Diana went in that bag and pulled out a little something and said, match. Oh, shit, man. Bitch, I can get giant too. how you want to handle this. We can get into some gangster shit if you want to, because she said, I don't like the way you said princess. Now, if this ain't a motherfucking clock, mug hit you so hard, yo back arch. Give it to Gigantic. For you to get up and come back from that, and you landed up in some concrete too, to get up from that, you got up from that. Okay, then you can swing with Diane. You can swing with Diane, and that's pretty much what they did for the rest of the comic book. Was bang each other and get bigger. and the fight went on like that until Diana figured out, okay, she causing too much damage. So I'm going to hit her with the Alice in Wonderland and boom, shrink down a little bit. Only to come back. Grow big on her. You know what I'm saying? Do the Hank Pym thing where you grow big and punch him with the uppercut and send her into the air. Way into the air. But she come back down bigger. And then that's when they was monster size. They towering, holding on to the buildings and Diana dusted that ass. And that was pretty much it. She ended up grabbing her in a sleeper hole and put her ass to sleep. Meanwhile, we got this flaming sorcerer walking around, magic user, whatever the hell he is. He kills Cheetah. Maybe that's why he's a dangerous magic user and why there isn't, and why Barbara Minerva could still be the next Cheetah. Anywho, though, after throwing a spell on Giganna, making her sleep, she goes back to find Cheetah dead and see that this sorcerer had performed a blood ritual on her. And then we know he too speaks Homo Magi because he hits Diana with a backward spell. And they ain't playing. This is what happened to Diana. I'm melting your arm. Burn the witch is what he said backwards. And that's the end of that issue. So we in that storyline, literally in it. Now, ain't no thoughts, comments, concerns on that? Anything y'all wanted me to take like a double, triple second take? No? All right. Well, we moving on then. Wow, that was cool. Black Panther Intergalactic #3. Or as I put it in my video, the Black Doppelganger Convention. So many black doppelgangers, you can't shake a stick at enough of them. Goodness gracious, from beginning to end of this book, we ain't seeing nothing but T'Challa doppelgangers from beginning to end. Is that what we wanted? And this is the logical progression of a 4-issue series. So I take it there are going to be lots of fights and explanations in this next issue. Now, again, not telling the writer how to tell the story, but are we moving the needle T'Challa-wise? Or are we just taking up time? Are we just taking up space? Is that going to turn into a monthly? Probably not. Is it a good idea for a monthly? Hell yeah. Get somebody in there that I believe, as you put it, Theo, somebody who knows how to write him and enjoys writing him. You'd be surprised how many people you pick up that will read the book. But anyway, he's still stuck on this planet that seems to manufacture doppelgangers of him that are like hybrids of him and other Earth superpowered beings. Okay. Last issue, we had Otto Blacktavius. Yes, a Dr. Octopus that resembled T'Challa. That's what we're dealing with. Okay. And to compound matters, we got a pretender T'Challa that is saying, I'm going to be the new king and I'm going to show you why. We see more of him in this issue. Meanwhile, lots of spider-centric characters he's dealing with. And I'm like, if making artificial beings that were hybrid of characters from Earth or beings from Earth are super villains, what we trying to create? I would think I'd want hybrids of my friends or hybrid versions of other beings I hang out and associate with on a somewhat fairly regular basis. I don't know what the criteria is. I would have had a different choice. It's just all a bunch of arachnoids and Spider Island spider monsters, or you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I would even want to be bothered with that. But this pretender is broadcasting this, I'm going to be the new this, that, and the third to multiple planets in the Imperium. So everybody's watching. What's the play? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, we got this juggernaut, Black Panther or Black Juggernaut, or whatever you want to call it, that is a hybrid of both the Juggernaut and a big gigantic black man, is encountered by Shuri, and Shuri manages to knock the Juggernaut down. But the Juggernaut responds in kind. Meanwhile, T'Challa is running from a Green Goblin, Risco, maybe, not Green Goblin. But he appropriates the Green Goblin's transportation and utilizes it to traverse the line. Meanwhile, he's being pursued. Meanwhile, M'Baku and his guard are making their way to where? Shh, more on that. Meanwhile, we got this T'Challa pretender lands on the planet and goes to laying into the T'Challa pretenders. Blob, and T'Challa. To Blob, Black Blob. I mean, what would you call him? I don't know. Black Steak, Mystique, Black Mystique. Mystique's already black or blue. I don't know. Pyro, Black Pyro. Black, I don't know. And Quicksilver. You get the general idea. And so this is the type of less inspired fare. I mean, it was trippy the first couple issues, but now you going full mode into it, and it's like, okay, what are we doing here? It is where I got at this point, and I'm asking myself, you know what I'm saying, what's the end game in all of this? And look like we got a vampire-like Varney thing swooping onto the scene, attacking T'Challa after he handles Biz. And well, this is the real one and not the pretender. But he equips himself well with this Varney-like thing before, unleashing a bunch of kinetic energy straight down its maw, only to fall out of the sky but land on the glider that strangely now looks like a Panther glider instead of a Goblin glider. Finally gets in contact with Shuri, who's also on the planet, lets them know, hey, we over here chilling with Femi and Black Juggernaut because he's calmed down now, and he's just, he's like, I'm here to protect you, blah, blah, blah. So he's there for Femi, to protect Femi. And Femi's, kind of upset, he's like, where's your father? And he's like, my father's dead. And he said, well, who killed your father? And he says, that girl's brother, the Black Panther, he killed my daddy. And her brother is who's responsible. And the last thing we hear spoken on this page is, he destroyed your family, then I will destroy his, and turn around and look at Shuri. So here's what we got in play in issue 3. Okay. T'Challa's on the planet right now, and he's dealing with doppelgangers. Everybody's dealing with doppelgangers. Okay, but now that they've come into contact with one another, they find out, oh, so there's fail safes in place for me. Is this where y'all wanted me? Was this what was supposed to happen all along? What's the overreaching purpose of me even being here? Is it to snuff him out? Is that the overreaching purpose of why, you know what I'm saying, why he's here in this situation? What's the overreaching purpose of him being on that planet? If it ain't to test him? Do we need the king to be tested? Is this something to gauge his skills? And, because from what we've been told, he was given full reign to go nuts and do whatever he wanted to do, and Killmonger's like, go crazy with it when he was king. See what I'm saying? Chamomile tea with a bit of monk fruit. Soothing, very soothing. Anyway, what do we think of this one? Do we Is this going to be another one of them? Oh, we got a lot of lackluster story about the character. If y'all going to make stories about the character, stop giving us these lackluster stories. Is that about where we at? I mean, unless we got something else we want to add to it, because I'm pretty certain, y'all are not on board or anywhere near liking it. I will say, Levaye, he gives you enough each issue to where you're just not like, oh, why did I even make the effort? So it's at least engaging. Now, overall, where we plan to go with the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, I would love to see something happen with it, but unfortunately. And we're going to talk more about this tomorrow night on the Thursday live when we discuss how white a certain company is and how not far behind another company is. Step your game up, boys. You're losing them to folks like Dynamite Comics, because they are choosing nostalgia and good writing over just throwing some stuff on the wall and saying, hey, let's get a big name person in here to do this. But this is what we'd like to see. Nothing that moves the needle. Nothing that makes the character more powerful. Nothing that makes the character wiser. Just same old stuff. Somebody gaming for the throne. Somebody got a scheme to crash the throne. Somebody want to take over the throne. Damn, okay, all right, we get it. It's a throne to be coveted. But can we talk about some other shit? Does it always have to cost my throne? I mean, let's just suffice to say, maybe we want to see some things, some unresolved issues and matters taken care of, particularly a certain situation that he had with Sam Wilson, unless they done resolved that, and a more recent situation that he had with this cat. You know what? Never mind. What my man Thanos say? Fine, then. I'll do it myself. Yes, indeed, he's swift and speedy. But anyways, Space Ghost. Let's just set the premise for you like this. Dr. Contra, who happens to be Jan and Jace's grandfather, is a brilliant scientist who ends up creating a quantum reactor, a reactor that, like what it said, everybody fascinated with quantum. It don't matter what universe you in, you getting some quantum for your dollar. But that's what it is. It's a quantum universe. But we got a quantum reactor and potentially unlimited energy. And that's the whole idea. We want to give everyone quantum reactors, so you never have to want for the. You get the idea. But enter Dr. Cyclo, who was a hater and sent his cyclopeds in to attack around the same time of this experiment. Enter Fate. Space Ghost pops up, starts beating down cyclopeds, causes a rupture of the reactor, which bays Dr. Contra, turning him into the dual personality having antimatter man. Space Ghost suspects might have something to do with Dr. Contra. Let's see what he thinks about it. And it turns out it is Dr. Contra, and Dr. Contra whoops Space Ghost's ass. Okay. because Space Ghost ain't got no answer for antimatter energy. Now, Dr. Cyclo got vaporized in the last issue, so it's like, damn. I'll have a question for you as we read this story. But anyway, at this point, the antimatter man has taken control of the quantum facility, whatever you want to call it, and has turned people into antimatter people. Enter Space Ghost. He comes into the room and begins firing blasts to keep people safe so that the antimatter soldiers don't shoot him. So he's shooting beams to block their shots, and he's taking shots. And so eventually he uses his ability to overheat their guns, and their guns overheat and explode. You asked about the Meridian Diadem. You asked me about the Meridian Diadem. When? What are we talking about? Well, while he remedies that interrogative, I will press on. But anyways, Space Ghost again saves the day, and then the scientists are like, dude, you're beat up. Because, Space Ghost got a broke rib or a couple of broke ribs. This how Space Ghost looking after a run in with the antimatter man. He done messed up my man's costume. His shit's all raggedy. You know what I'm saying? So he catching it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like he, just blazing through like he always do. Now, what is of any importance is the armor plating on the cyclopeds is proof against antimatter energy. Question: If Dr. Cyclo could make robots that had plating that made them proof against antimatter energy, why didn't he make some for his damn self to keep from getting vaporized? But anyway, so Space Ghost comes up with the idea, hey, how long would it take y'all to throw me together some armor made out of that plating? We got you, Space Ghost. Meanwhile, Dr. Contra is he done went nuts. He's ready to be sustained by the power of this reactor, but the result could blow everything up. He don't give a fuck. he don't care. So that's when Jan and Jace start fighting back, running interference. You know what I mean? Just the usual kind of stuff. But that interference distracts the antimatter man long enough for Space Ghost to pull up like this here. That Space Ghost antimatter suit. You dig? That's actually kind of fly. It gives me it gives me Hawkman vibes. Remember when he was when he was a Thanagarian police officer? That it kind of gives me those vibes. But yeah, that's a dope little look for SG. And because he's proofed up, he's able to throw hands and last a little longer with the Antimatter Man. And he's putting, Space Ghost he putting hands on him, and and he was shrugging off blast and bah, 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 and putting hands on old boy until old boy hit him with like a little kung fu in his ribs where he was tender at. And threw a couple tons of rubble across the top of him and was gonna finish him off. Jan come up behind him with a power cord and try to jig him with some electricity, and he fired a blast at her. And the Antimatter Man hears Jace cry out, "Jan, look out." And then he said, "What did you just say, boy?" And he tells him what he said. Yo, and because of how he looks, you can't see his features. He's kind of ebon shadow colored. He looks opaque. He's a silhouette. You know what I'm saying? But as he listens to Jason and his concern, because they got their masks on. The mask actually means something in the comics. It ain't just two kids running around with masks on like it was in the show. But they got their masks on. Don't nobody know who they are. That's the comic rule. Once I put a mask on, you don't recognize me no more. I look like a whole different person. But he recognizes that is his grandchildren, and the reactor's already reached maximum capacity and is about to, but he does absorb it. He absorbs the energy that comes out, but in absorbing the energy, it causes him to disintegrate. Yes. Grandpa Contra gives his life to save his grandbabies. In the end, he died a noble death. Jan didn't take it so well. Jan got really, really, really upset. Kind of tug on your heartstrings, don't it? But yeah, this was a great story, wonderfully depicted by Dave. Space Ghost letting them know, I'm here for y'all. We a family now, because she crying about why I gotta lose family, and Space Ghost is telling her, I'm y'all family now. I'm gonna take care of y'all. We gonna be here for each other. And that's, kind of where they at, because family, regardless of what Space Ghost is and what he do, at the core of his being and who he is a family guy. And I think that's another one of the things that appeals to me about Space Ghost, because he's kind of a throwback to them, them type of values, to have some integrity, to stand for something. Yeah, we're going to talk about integrity and standing for something tomorrow night on Thursday Live. Y'all make sure y'all pull up for that. I got a few things that I want to talk about this Thursday, but we gonna close on a happy note. We gonna close on a happy note. And here's something that made me happy this past weekend. Absolute Wonder Woman annual #1. Her first annual. Probably her last too. But real quick, if y'all saw the video that I did, basically gave you the synopsis. Diana has been entreating the goddess Athena to help her to resolve the plight of Medusa. How does she know Medusa suffers? Because way back in Absolute Wonder Woman #5, when she had to take down the Tetracide, she used her lasso to transmogrify herself into Medusa and turn the Tetracide into stone. Now, what you don't understand is Medusa can turn people into stone with her gaze, but that also means Medusa can never, ever look a person in the eyes or be looked in the eyes. Can you imagine the emotional deprivation she suffers from? Because no one can look on her and not be turned into stone. Diana takes pity on her and wants to help her. After praying and praying and praying and praying and praying, she is finally given audience, and she is standing in the presence of the goddess Athena. And Athena looks pretty gangster. They gave her a whole gatefold. Athena's pretty badass looking, isn't she? That is the goddess of wisdom and battle strategy, according to the Greeks. Now, Diana used to play chess with the goddess of battle strategy when she was a child. Good to know, right? Yeah. So we know she has a strategic mind. She also has admitted that she is often the type to think outside the box, to have an unconventional solution if it is a more humane solution. So Diana ain't got no problem unaliving people or beings, but that is not her go-to. That is Diana. I prefer to find another way to deal with you, cure you, imprison you, expose you to something, anything but unalive. If there ain't no other way, then yeah, I gotta do what I gotta do. But bottom line, she asks Athena to give her the power to help Medusa. And Medusa say, Athena say, what you gonna give me in return if I give you that power? Greek gods, they always want something in return. They can't just be beneficent. She says, she don't gotta keep this ability. She just wanted temporarily. So she said, temporarily in trade, I'll give you all my godly power. All the blessings I've been given by the gods. So basically, I'm just a plain old Amazon with armor. Nothing else. But with the ability to help Medusa. Now, she's got to climb mountains and brave areas that are definitely dangerous. all to find a being that don't even know that the person you could potentially rip apart or turn to stone is here to help you. Hey, Grand Madam, how you doing, darling? But yeah, Medusa attacks her. That's exactly what happens. She's down on her knees, injured because Medusa keeps swinging at her, taking swipes at her, ripping at her. And she's getting beat up. She's getting beat up. And they put her in the presence of, because remember, Medusa has two other sisters. And now these other two sisters are whack. They tag teaming on Diana. And they beat Diana down. Remember, Diana ain't got that super duper stamina and limited invulnerability. That, see, we just dealing with Diana, the armor, and that bag of magic tricks. That's all she got against three, count them, 1, 2, 3 Gorgons. How you doing, Mr. President? Good to see you. She deal with 3 Gorgons. Oh. Anyway, Medusa makes the scene to administer the coup de grace. My sisters done whooped your ass. Now I'm getting ready to turn you into stone. Now turn around and look at me, you Amazon bitch. That's pretty much what Medusa hisses at Diana. And much to Medusa's surprise, Diana does turn around and look Medusa in the eyes. She ain't turning stone. She ain't turning stone. Remember that temporary trade? I want to be able to look Medusa in the eyes without being turned into stone. Because remember, the original deal was she wants to help Medusa. And in order for me agreeing to help save Medusa or assist Medusa to live life a little better, we need to trade something. And that was the trade. So we got the trade, and then we got the cure, which I will get to in a second. But this was the temporary trade. I will give you my powers. In return, you will give me the ability to look Medusa in the eyes. Ain't having God's favor a beautiful thing? But yeah, she looks Medusa in the eyes and says to her, tells her, I felt what you felt. I wasn't even Medusa that long. I was only Medusa for a little bit. And I felt what you feel about not being able to look at another human being and not being able to receive that whatever, no emotional kind of interaction whatsoever. And Medusa been around for thousands of years. So she's been cut off, even with her sisters. She can't even look at her sisters. So, in addition, I give you the ability, she gives her a lasso that gives her the ability to control it. So she can look at people now, or if she wants to, she can give you the stone gaze. That is what Diana did for Medusa. And even gave her like a little more appealing looking body where she didn't have snakes in her head. I mean, she still don't look cute, but she this is what Medusa look like when she ain't Medusa. There. You're like, that's a woman? Exactly. She looked like more of a woman when she was Medusa. So yeah, that's a definite downgrade in my book. But anyway, Medusa is united with her sisters, and they are able to look at each other, and she's crying, and it's a beautiful thing. And she says, "Thank you, Diana. I will not forget it." Next panel. I cannot believe this dumb human has fixed you. Panel after that. What did she call herself? Was it Dinah? Just that fast. And so when she leaves their lair, her powers start to come back, and she flies back. And her and Athena have a discussion about, I like the way you strategize. You know what I'm saying? I think today that if me and you played chess now, you would probably win, Diana. And Diana's like, that's the nicest thing Athena has ever said to me. And that's the end of the book. Remember what we was talking about earlier in Theo's live, and we were talking about, we need these stories that's just done, wrapped up, and finished. Annuals. Annuals were those stories. I mean, it felt like no matter what happened in an annual, you still knew that at the end of the day, everything was going to be resolved. And whoever annual you was reading, you knew, what I'm saying, it was going to be done and over with, because shit, it's an annual. You know what I'm saying? Annuals got to be done. That's why they double the size. So we finishing this story today. That's basically what the annual was. And we need to bring more of that back. We just tell the story and be done. I mean, I get it every now and then when you branch it out and do it. Because I mean, like for instance, like back in the 70s, you had the Avengers Defenders War. You told a story between two books. That's it. Two books. Two. 1, 2. Avengers, Defenders. That story can be told without me having to buy 5, 6, 7 books to keep up with the storyline. I buy those two books. I buy Avengers, I buy Defenders. Bam, I can buy Avengers. Oh, what's going to happen next month? Go over here and buy Defenders. What's going to happen next month? Go back and buy Avengers. Easy. I ain't got to be traipsing all over reality to find which book this month and that. Then on top of that, then On top of that, if you really want to tell the story, tell it in one comic. This issue, that issue. I say, like, long time ago, Fabian the Sizer, Mark Bagley, Round Robin, the Sidekick's Revenge. That is one of the best story arcs I ever, and that continues to be one of my favorite story arcs. You got Spider-Man, Nova, Night Thrasher, Moon Knight, the Punisher, Darkhawk, all throughout that story. That was a good read. That was a damn good read. I'm gonna have to go dig them books up. That was a very good read. Maybe I will sift those up and I will do a comic book series on Sidekick's Revenge. Because that was some good comic book storytelling. But yeah, y'all, we right at the hour mark. 4 issues, about 15 minutes apiece. That's about how long it ran. So we about on point. Maybe that's how I'll try to keep the format is 4 issues in an hour, and we be out here. I ain't trying to keep you up all night. I know y'all over there on the East Coast, y'all trying to get some sleep. I know Central, you a couple hours ahead, but still, anyway. Like I said, y'all tune in tomorrow for the Thursday live because I got some old shit I want to say. So y'all make sure y'all pull up, same real time, same real channel. Might be a few sparks flying, but if they are, it was meant for that to happen. But that's it for now, y'all. I will be coming at you with another one of the other ones. And until I do, y'all be good to each other. Amen.